Marvin Pence Gaye Jr. was born Marvin Pence Gaye Jr. on April 2, 1939, at Freedmen's Hospital in Washington, D.C., to church minister Marvin Gaye Sr. and domestic worker Alberta Gaye, née Cooper. His first home was in a public housing project, the Fairfax Apartments, now demolished, at 1617 First Street, Southwest in the Southwest Waterfront neighborhood. Although one of the city's oldest neighborhoods, with many elegant Federal-style homes, Southwest was primarily a vast slum. Most buildings were small, in extensive disrepair, and lacked both electricity and running water. The alleys were full of one- and two-story shacks, and nearly every dwelling was overcrowded. Gaye and his friends nicknamed the area, Simple City, owing to its being half city, half country. Gaye was the second oldest of the couple's 4 children. He had 2 sisters, Jean and Zeola, and one brother, Frankie Gaye. He also had 2 half-brothers, Michael Cooper, his mother's son from a previous relationship, and Antoine Carey Gaye, born as a result of his father's extramarital affairs. Gaye started singing in church when he was 4 years old. His father often accompanied him on piano. Gaye and his family were part of a Pentecostal church known as the House of God. The House of God took its teachings from Hebrew Pentecostalism, advocated strict conduct, and adhered to both the Old and New Testaments. Gaye developed a love of singing at an early age and was encouraged to pursue a professional music career after a performance at a school play at 11 singing Mario Lanza's Be My Love. His home life consisted of brutal whippings by his father, who struck him for any shortcoming. The young Gaye described living in his father's house as similar to living with a king, a very peculiar, changeable, cruel, and all-powerful king. He felt that had his mother not consoled him and encouraged his singing, he would have killed himself. His sister later explained that Gaye was beaten often, from age 7 well into his teenage years. Gaye attended Syphax Elementary School and then Randall Junior High School. Gaye began to take singing much more seriously in junior high, and he joined and became a singing star with the Randall Junior High Glee Club. In 1953 or 1954, the Gayes moved into the East Capitol Dwellings public housing project in D.C.'s Capitol View neighborhood. Their townhouse apartment, Unit 12 60th Street Northeast, now demolished, was Marvin's home until 1962. Gaye briefly attended Spingarn High School before transferring to Cardozo High School. At Cardozo, Gaye joined several doo-wop vocal groups, including the Dippers and the DC Tones. Gaye's relationship with his father worsened during his teenage years, as his father would kick him out of the house often. In 1956, 17-year-old Gaye dropped out of high school and enlisted in the United States Air Force as a basic airman. Disappointed in having to perform menial tasks, he faked mental illness and was discharged shortly afterwards. Gaye's sergeant stated that he refused to follow orders. Gaye was issued a general discharge from the service. Following his return, Gaye and his good friend Reese Palmer formed the vocal quartet The Marquis. The group performed in the D.C. area and soon began working with Bo Diddley, who assigned the group to Columbia subsidiary OK Records after failing to get the group signed to his own label, Chess. The group's sole single, Wyatt Earp, co-written by Bo Diddley, failed to chart and the group was soon dropped from the label. Gaye began composing music during this period. Moonglow's co-founder Harvey Fuqua later hired the Marquis as employees. Under Fuqua's direction, the group changed its name to Harvey and the New Moonglows, and relocated to Chicago. The group recorded several sides for Chess in 1959, including the song, Mama Lukey, which was Gaye's first lead vocal recording. The group found work as session singers for established acts such as Chuck Berry, singing on the hits, Back in the USA, and Almost Grown. In 1960, the group disbanded. Marvin Gaye relocated to Detroit with Fuqua where he signed with Tri-Fi Records as a session musician, playing drums on several Tri-Fi releases. Gaye performed at Motown president Berry Gordy's house during the holiday season in December 1960. Impressed by the singer, Gordy sought Fuqua on his contract with Gaye. Fuqua agreed to sell part of his interest in his contract with Gaye. Shortly afterwards, Gaye signed with Motown subsidiary Tamla. When Gaye signed with Tamla, he pursued a career as a performer of jazz music and standards, having no desire to become an R&B performer. Before the release of his first single, Gaye changed the spelling of his surname by adding an E, in the same way as did Sam Cooke. Author David Ritz wrote that Gaye did this to silence rumors of his sexuality, and to put more distance between himself and his father. Gaye released his first single, Let Your Conscience Be Your Guide, in May 1961, with the album The Soulful Moods of Marvin Gaye, following a month later. Gaye's initial recordings failed commercially, and he spent most of 1961 performing session work as a drummer for artists such as The Miracles, The Marvelettes, and blues artist Jimmy Reed for $5.43 United States dollars in 2019 dollars a week. While Gaye took some advice on performing with his eyes open, having been accused of appearing as though he were sleeping, and also got pointers on how to move more gracefully on stage, he refused to attend grooming school courses at the John Robert Powers School for Social Grace in Detroit because of his unwillingness to comply with its orders, something he later regretted. Gaye was also one of the few Motown artists who took no dance lessons from Charlie Atkins. In 1962, Gaye found success as co-writer of the Marvelettes' hit, Beechwood 4-5789, on which he also played drums. His first solo hit, Stubborn Kind of Fellow, was later released that September, reaching number 8 on the R&B chart and number 46 on the Billboard Hot 100. Gaye first reached the Pop Top 40 with the dance song, Hitchhike, peaking at number 30 on the Hot 100. Pride and Joy became Gaye's first top 10 single after its release in 1963. The 3 singles and songs from the 1962 sessions were included on Gaye's second album, That Stubborn Kinda Fellow, released on Tamla in January 1963. Starting in October 1962, Gaye performed as part of the Motown Revue, a series of concert tours headlined at the north and southeastern coasts of the United States as part of the Chitlin Circuit, a series of rock shows performed at venues that welcomed predominantly black musicians. A filmed performance of Gaye at the Apollo Theater took place in June 1963. Later that October, Tamla issued the live album, Marvin Gaye recorded live on stage. Can I Get a Witness became one of Gaye's early international hits. In 1964, Gaye recorded a successful duet album with singer Mary Wells titled Together, which reached number 42 on the pop album chart. The album's two-sided single, including Once Upon a Time and What's the Matter with You Baby, each reached the top 20. Gaye's next solo hit, How Sweet It Is, to Be Loved by You, which Holland Dozier Holland wrote for him, reached number 6 on the Hot 100 and reached the top 50 in the UK. Gaye started getting television exposure around this time, on shows such as American Bandstand. Also in 1964, he appeared in the concert film, The Tami Show. Gaye had 2 number 1 R&B singles in 1965 with The Miracles, composed, I'll Be Doggone, and Ain't That Peculiar. Both songs became million sellers. After this, Gaye returned to jazz-derived ballads for a tribute album to the recently deceased Nat King Cole. After scoring a hit duet, It Takes Two, with Kim Weston, Gaye began working with Tammi Terrell on a series of duets, mostly composed by Ashford and Simpson, including, Ain't No Mountain High Enough, Your Precious Love, Ain't Nothing Like the Real Thing, and You're All I Need to Get By. In October 1967, Terrell collapsed in Gaye's arms during a performance in Farmville, Virginia. Terrell was subsequently rushed to Farmville's Southside Community Hospital, where doctors discovered she had a malignant tumor in her brain. The diagnosis ended Terrell's career as a live performer, though she continued to record music under careful supervision. Despite the presence of hit singles such as Ain't Nothing Like the Real Thing, and You're All I Need to Get By, Terrell's illness caused problems with recording, and led to multiple operations to remove the tumor. Gaye was reportedly devastated by Terrell's sickness and became disillusioned with the record business. On October 6, 1968, Gaye sang the national anthem during Game 4 of the 1968 World Series, held at Tiger Stadium, in Detroit, Michigan, between the Detroit Tigers and the St. Louis Cardinals. In late 1968, Gaye's recording of I Heard It Through the Grapevine became Gaye's first to reach number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. It also reached the top of the charts in other countries, selling over 4 million copies. However, Marvin felt the success was something he didn't deserve, and that he felt like a puppet, Barry's puppet, Anna's puppet. Gaye followed it up with Too Busy Thinking About My Baby, and That's the Way Love Is, which reached the top 10 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1969. That year, his album MPG became his first #1 album on the R&B album charts. Gaye produced and co-wrote 2 hits for the originals during this period, including Baby I'm For Real and The Bells. Tammi Terrell died from brain cancer on March 16, 1970. Gaye attended her funeral, and after a period of depression, Gaye sought out a position on a professional football team, the Detroit Lions, where he later befriended Mel Farr and Lem Barney. Barney and Farr had gotten gold records for providing backup vocals for the title track of Gaye's What's Going On album. The Lions eventually declined an invitation for Gaye to try out, owing to legal liabilities and fears of possible injuries that could have affected his music career. On June 1, 1970, Gaye returned to Hitsville, USA, where he recorded his new composition, What's Going On, inspired by an idea from Ronaldo Obi Benson of the Four Tops after he witnessed an act of police brutality at an anti-war rally in Berkeley. Upon hearing the song, Berry Gordy refused its release due to his feelings of the song being too political for radio and feared the singer would lose his crossover audience. Gaye responded by going on strike from releasing anything until the label released the song. Released in 1971, it reached #1 on the R&B charts within a month, staying there for 5 weeks. It also reached the top spot on Cashbox's pop chart for a week and reached #2 on the Hot 100 and the Record World Chart, selling over 2 million copies. After giving an ultimatum to record a full album to win creative control from Motown, Gaye spent 10 days recording the What's Going On album that March. Motown issued the album that May after Gaye remixed the album in Hollywood. The album became Gaye's first million-selling album, launching 2 more top 10 singles, Mercy Mercy Me, The Ecology, and Inner City Blues. One of Motown's first autonomous works, its theme and segue flow brought the concept album format to rhythm and blues and soul music. An AllMusic writer later cited it as the most important and passionate record to come out of soul music, delivered by one of its finest voices. For the album, Gaye received 2 Grammy Award nominations at the 1972 ceremony and several NAACP Image Awards. The album also topped Rolling Stone's year-end list as its Album of the Year. Billboard magazine named Gaye Trendsetter of the Year following the album's success. In 1971, Gaye signed a new deal with Motown worth $1 million, $6,313,065 United States dollars in 2019 dollars, making it the most lucrative deal by a black recording artist at the time. Gaye first responded to the new contract with the soundtrack and subsequent score, Trouble Man, released in late 1972. Before the release of Trouble Man, Marvin released a single called, You're the Man. The album of the same name was a follow-up to What's Going On, but Motown refused to promote the single, according to Gaye. According to some biographies, Gordy, who was considered a moderate, feared Gaye's liberal political views would alienate Motown's conservative audiences. As a result, Gaye shelved the project and substituted it for Trouble Man. In August 1973, Gaye released the Let's Get It On album. Its title track became Gaye's second #1 single on the Hot 100. The album subsequently stayed on the charts for 2 years and sold over 4 million copies. The album was later hailed as a record unparalleled in its sheer sensuality and carnal energy. Other singles from the album included, Come Get to This, which recalled Gaye's early Motown soul sound of the previous decade, while the suggestive, You Sure Love to Ball, reached modest success on the R&B charts, while also managing to make the pop top 50, its success halted by radio refusing to play the sexually explicit song. Marvin's final duet project, Diana and Marvin, with Diana Ross, garnered international success despite contrasting artistic styles. Much of the material was crafted especially for the duo by Ashford and Simpson. Responding to demand from fans and Motown, Gaye started his first tour in 4 years at the Oakland, Alameda County Coliseum on January 4, 1974. The performance received critical acclaim and resulted in the release of the live album, Marvin Gaye Live, and its single, a live version of Distant Lover, an album track from Let's Get It On. The tour helped to enhance Gaye's reputation as a live performer. For a time, he was earning $100,000 a night, $518,421 United States dollars in 2019 dollars, for performances. Gaye toured throughout 1974 and 1975. A renewed contract with Motown allowed Gaye to build his own custom-made recording studio. In October 1975, Gaye gave a performance at a UNESCO benefit concert at New York's Radio City Music Hall to support UNESCO's African Literacy Drive, resulting in him being commended at the United Nations by then Ambassador to Ghana Shirley Temple Black and Kurt Waldheim. Gaye's next studio album, I Want You, followed in March 1976 with the title track, I Want You, becoming a #1 R&B hit. The album would go on to sell over 1 million copies. That spring, Gaye embarked on his first European tour in a decade, starting off in Belgium. In early 1977, Gaye released the live album, Live at the London Palladium, which sold over 2 million copies thanks to the success of its studio song, Got to Give It Up, which became a #1 hit. In December 1978, Gaye released Here, My Dear, inspired by the fallout from his first marriage to Anna Gordy. Recorded with the intention of remitting a portion of its royalties to her as alimony payments, it performed poorly on the charts. During that period, Gaye's cocaine addiction intensified while he was dealing with several financial issues with the IRS. These issues led him to move to Maui, where he struggled to record a disco-influenced album titled Love Man, with a probable release date for February 1980, though he would later shelve the project. That year, Gaye went on a European tour, his first in 4 years. By the time the tour stopped, the singer relocated to London when he feared imprisonment for failure to pay back taxes, which had now reached upwards of $4.5 million, $13,963,449 United States dollars in 2019 dollars. Gaye then reworked Love Man from its original disco concept to another socially conscious album invoking religion and the possible end time from a chapter in the Book of Revelation. Titling the album In Our Lifetime, Gaye worked on the album for much of 1980 in London studios such as Air and Odyssey Studios. In the fall of that year, someone stole a master tape of a rough draft of the album from one of Gaye's traveling musicians, Frank Blair, taking the master tape to Motown's Hollywood headquarters. Motown remixed the album and released it on January 15, 1981. When Gaye learned of its release, he accused Motown of editing and remixing the album without his consent, allowing the release of an unfinished production, Far Cry, altering the album art of his request and removing the album title's question mark, muting its irony. He also accused the label of Rush releasing the album, comparing his unfinished album to an unfinished Picasso painting. Gaye then vowed not to record any more music for Motown. On February 14, 1981, under the advice of music promoter Freddie Coussart, Gaye relocated to Coussart's apartment in Ostend, Belgium. While there, Gaye shied away from heavy drug use and began exercising and attending a local Ostend church, regaining personal confidence. Following several months of recovery, Gaye sought a comeback on stage, starting the short-lived Heavy Love Affair tour in England and Ostend in June to July 1981. Gaye's personal attorney Curtis Shaw would later describe Gaye's Ostend period as the best thing that ever happened to Marvin. When word got around that Gaye was planning a musical comeback and an exit from Motown, CBS Urban president Larkin Arnold eventually was able to convince Gaye to sign with CBS Records. On March 23, 1982, Motown and CBS negotiated Gaye's release from Motown. The details of the contract were not revealed due to a possible negative effect on the singer's settlement to creditors from the IRS. Assigned to CBS's Columbia subsidiary, Gaye worked on his first post-Motown album titled Midnight Love. The first single, Sexual Healing, which was written and recorded in Ostend in Freddie Coussart's apartment, was released in September 1982, and became Gaye's biggest career hit, spending a record 10 weeks at #1 on the Hot Black Singles chart, becoming the biggest R&B hit of the 1980s according to Billboard stats. The success later translated to the Billboard Hot 100 chart in January 1983 where it peaked at number 3, while the record reached international success, reaching the top spot in New Zealand and Canada and reaching the top 10 on the United Kingdom's OCC Singles Chart, Australia and Belgium, later selling over 2 million copies in the US alone, becoming Gaye's most successful single to date. The video for the song was shot at Ostend's Casino Kursaal. Sexual Healing won Gaye his first 2 Grammy Awards, including Best Male R&B Vocal Performance, in February 1983, and also won Gaye an American Music Award in the R&B Soul category. People magazine called it, America's hottest musical turn-on since Olivia Newton-John demanded we get physical. Midnight Love was released to stores less than a month after the single's release, and was equally successful, peaking at the top 10 of the Billboard 200 and becoming Gaye's 8th #1 album on the top Black Albums chart, eventually selling over 6 million copies worldwide, 3 million alone in the US. On February 13, 1983, Gaye sang "The Star-Spangled Banner" at the NBA All-Star Game at the Forum in Inglewood, California, accompanied by Gordon Banks, who played the studio tape from the stands. The following month, Gaye performed at the Motown 25, Yesterday, Today, Forever special. This and a May appearance on Soul Train, his third appearance on the show, became Gaye's final television performances. Gaye embarked on his final concert tour, titled the Sexual Healing Tour, on April 18, 1983, in San Diego. The tour ended on August 14, 1983 at the Pacific Amphitheater in Costa Mesa, California, but was plagued by cocaine-triggered paranoia and illness. Following the concert's end, he moved into his parents' house in Los Angeles. In early 1984, Midnight Love was nominated for a Grammy in the Best Male R&B Vocal Performance category, his 12th and final nomination. Gaye married Berry Gordy's sister, Anna Gordy, in June 1963. The couple separated in 1973, and Anna filed for divorce in November 1975. The couple officially divorced in 1977. Gaye later married Janice Hunter in October 1977. The couple separated in 1979 and officially divorced in February 1981. Marvin Gaye was the father of 3 children, Marvin III, adopted with Anna. Marvin III was the biological son of Denise Gordy, Anna's niece who was 16 at the time, and Nona and Frankie, whom he had with his second wife, Janice. At the time of his death, he was survived by his 3 children, parents, and 5 siblings. Gaye intervened in a fight between his parents on the afternoon of April 1, 1984, in the family house in the West Adams district of Los Angeles, and he became involved in a physical altercation with his father, Marvin Gaye Sr., who shot Gaye twice, once in the chest, piercing his heart, and then into Gaye's shoulder. The shooting took place in Gaye's bedroom at 12:38 p.m. The first shot proved fatal. Gaye was pronounced dead at 1:01 p.m. after his body arrived at California Hospital Medical Center, 1 day short of his 45th birthday. After Gaye's funeral, his body was cremated at Forest Lawn Memorial Park, Hollywood Hills. His ashes were scattered into the Pacific Ocean. Gaye Sr. was initially charged with first-degree murder, but the charges were reduced to voluntary manslaughter following a diagnosis of a brain tumor. He was given a suspended 6-year sentence and probation. He died at a nursing home in 1998. Marvin Gaye has been called the #1 purveyor of soul music. Following his death, The New York Times described Gaye as someone who blended the soul music of the urban scene with the beat of the old-time gospel singer and became an influential force in pop music. Further in the article, Gaye was also credited with combining the soulful directness of gospel music, the sweetness of soft soul and pop, and the vocal musicianship of a jazz singer. His recordings for Motown in the 1960s and 1970s shaped that label's signature sound. His work with Motown gave him the titles Prince of Soul and Prince of Motown. Critics stated that Gaye's music signified the development of black music from raw rhythm and blues, through sophisticated soul to the political awareness of the 1970s and increased concentration on personal and sexual politics thereafter. As a Motown artist, Gaye was among the first to break from the reins of its production system, paving the way for Stevie Wonder. Gaye's late 1970s and early 1980s recordings influenced contemporary forms of R&B predating the subgenres Quiet Storm and neo-soul. Many artists including Barry White, Stevie Wonder, Jermaine Jackson, Frankie Beverly, D'Angelo, Maxwell, Tupac Shakur, Todd Rundgren, Erykah Badu, Common, Nas, Joe, Tina Marie, Chico DeBarge, El DeBarge, Raheem Devon and many others admitted to being heavily influenced by Gaye's musicianship. For his Oscar-nominated role as James "Thunder" Ely in the film, Dreamgirls, Eddie Murphy replicated Gaye's 1970s clothing style in the film. According to David Ritz in a 1991 revision of his biography on Marvin, since 1983, Marvin's name has been mentioned, in reverential tones, on no less than 7 top 10 hit records. Gaye's name has been used as the title of several hits, including Big Sean's "Marvin Gaye and Chardonnay", and Charlie Puth's debut hit, "Marvin Gaye", a duet with Meghan Trainor.